Oh, the 1970s. A decade where horror filmmakers were at their boldest, crafting nightmares that would linger beyond the movie's end. From gothic mansions hiding sinister secrets to experimental storytelling that pushed the boundaries of fear, the 70s delivered horror with a unique flavor. Whether you're a die-hard cinephile or a casual thrill seeker, these spine-chilling tales will leave you checking under your bed. Before we go all in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more hair-raising lists, and drop a comment about your favorite scary flicks. Also, check out our other video, 10 Underrated Horror Films from the 70s, for some hidden gems you won't want to miss. Stick around until the end. Our number 1 pick might surprise you. Imagine Vincent Price as a disgruntled Shakespearean actor seeking revenge on critics who dared to pan his performances. Now, imagine him dispatching them in ways inspired by Shakespeare's plays. That's theater of blood in a nutshell, hilariously macabre and endlessly creative. From a Death by Pies riff on Titus Andronicus to a hair-raising nod to The Merchant of Venice, every kill is an over-the-top masterpiece. The film walks a fine line between horror and camp, with Price delivering a performance so deliciously wicked that it's impossible not to root for him. It's murder most foul, but also outrageously fun. Picture this, a Trans-Siberian train, a prehistoric fossil that isn't quite dead, and Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing teaming up to solve the mystery. Add in a dash of mind-controlling alien parasites, and you have Horror Express. This film is a delightful blend of old-school gothic horror and sci-fi weirdness, with a claustrophobic setting that cranks up the tension. The scenes where passengers succumb to the aliens' influence are unnervingly eerie, and the snow-covered backdrop adds an extra layer of isolation. Plus, Telly Savalas makes a late film appearance as a vodka-loving Cossack, because why not? Anthology horror was all the rage in the 70s, and Asylum might just be the crown jewel of the format. Directed by Freddie Francis and written by Psycho author Robert Bloch, this twisted collection of tales revolves around a young doctor interviewing patients at, you guessed it, an asylum. Each story is a macabre delight, from murderous mannequins to reanimated body parts. The framing device itself is a spine-tingling tale, culminating in a twist that will make you rethink your next therapist appointment. Asylum is the perfect popcorn horror, delivering bite-sized nightmares with a side of psychological dread. Another anthology entry, Vault of Horror, is a chilling collection of stories with an ironic twist at the end of each. Based on the EC comics of the 50s, the film doesn't shy away from gruesome ends, think decapitations, vampirism, and death by voodoo. One standout tale features a painter whose cursed works wreak havoc on his enemies, in the most literal sense. With its tongue-in-cheek dark humor and delightfully sinister tone, Vault of Horror feels like sitting around a campfire listening to ghost stories, if your friends were a pack of sadists. Also known as The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, this Italian-Spanish zombie flick is a slow-burn masterpiece. Set in the scenic English countryside, it's a tale of experimental pesticides gone awry, waking the dead in the process. The zombies here are anything but slow-moving cannon fodder. They're intelligent, vengeful, and absolutely terrifying. The bleak cinematography and nihilistic tone elevate the film into a realm of existential dread, making every zombie encounter feel like the end of the world. Plus, that ending will stick with you for days. If you could capture the spirit of death, would you? That's the central question in the Asphyx, a Victorian-era chiller about a scientist who discovers a way to imprison the Grim Reaper. As you might expect, meddling with mortality has dire consequences. This film combines gothic horror with a touch of sci-fi, delivering a story that's as thought-provoking as it is unsettling. The Asphyx itself, a ghostly, smoke-like entity, is genuinely haunting, and the film's tragic undertones make it a cut above the usual monster fare. Hammer Films made a killing with psychological horror, and Fear in the Night is a prime example. Peggy, played by Judy Geeson, moves into a secluded boarding school with her husband, only to be terrorized by a one-armed man. The film keeps you guessing whether Peggy's experiences are real or figments of her imagination, creating an atmosphere of mounting paranoia. Add in Peter Cushing as the sinister headmaster, and you've got a recipe for sleepless nights. Few films blend exploitation and social commentary as effectively as House of Whipcord. Directed by Pete Walker, it's a tale of a young model lured into a sadistic correctional facility run by a retired judge and his wife. The film is unapologetically grim, with a suffocating atmosphere that leaves you feeling as trapped as the protagonist. Beneath the shocks, there's a biting critique of authoritarianism and strayed morality, making it as intellectually engaging as it is horrifying. Christopher Lee reimagines the classic Jekyll and Hyde tale in I, Monster, a cerebral take on duality and human nature. As Dr. Charles Marlowe, Lee experiments with a drug that releases his darker instincts, transforming him into the malevolent Edward Blake. The film's low budget doesn't hinder its effectiveness. In fact, the minimalist approach enhances the psychological horror. Lee's terrifying performance anchors the story, proving once again why he's one of horror's greatest icons. The Belasco house is the star of this supernatural gem, a mansion so evil it makes Hill House look like a summer camp. A team of psychics, including Roddy McDowall, investigates the estate to uncover its secrets, and things spiral quickly into chaos. The legend of Hell House is dripping with atmosphere, using tight camera angles and eerie sound design to keep you on edge. The film's climax, involving the revelation of Belasco's dark legacy, is as shocking as it is satisfying. Before you go, did your favorite make the list? If not, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your suggestions. And if you're hungry for more 70s cinema, don't miss our 70s movies playlist for a treasure trove of film gems. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow horror buffs. See you in the next nightmare.
What in the name of God?